Hey, sweetheart. I know you've been sensing something strange lately. The way your chest gets tight suddenly. The way your left eye twitches out of nowhere. Or the way your name has been echoing in the air like a whisper from beyond. That's not your imagination. That's a spiritual alert, and Archangel Michael is standing right beside you. He told me something last night that I couldn't sleep after. He said, "This message must reach you. You must not skip it. A line has been crossed and heaven is shaking with concern. Listen closely, darling. Yesterday, someone went to a psychic and asked about you. And what was uncovered shocked even the psychic herself. Your name glowed. Your path shined. But so did your money." The psychic gasped. She saw your money in someone else's hands. Not in the future, now. She saw betrayal cloaked in family. She saw a trusted face smiling while taking what's yours. And she couldn't sleep all night. She whispered into the stars and Archangel Michael heard her prayer. The person who paid that psychic wasn't just curious. They were afraid. Afraid of what you're about to become. Afraid that your destiny is catching up and overtaking theirs. So they tried to use that reading to gain control. But it backfired. The energy shot back like lightning. And now Michael says, you have only 5 minutes. Heaven is trying to warn you before it's too late. There is something missing in your account. A transaction. A shift. A small change in digits. But it's not about the bank. It's spiritual theft. Someone is manifesting with your name. Wearing your essence. Planting seeds with your energy. Trying to bring blessings to their life using what heaven wrote only for you. Michael says, you're not ordinary. You're chosen. You're golden. But if you stay asleep for too long, even gold gets stolen. And God is not playing about this anymore. You're being tested. Not just by people, but by time. You have only minutes before something spiritual becomes permanent. You're standing at a gate, trembling. But this is the last gate before your freedom. God said, my child, if only they knew how heavy your crown is. You've been walking through betrayal after betrayal. Still smiling. Still praying. Still calling others family. Still giving chances, even when heaven whispers, not them again. And now here we are. A line was crossed. A message was delivered to earth from heaven's desk. And you've opened it just in time. Michael is whispering again. He says, you must protect your energy now. They're not done. That same person who went to the psychic? They're about to try again. This time with someone darker. Someone who doesn't use cards, but shadows. God says, their next attempt will be tonight. Midnight. But if my child opens this and listens, it will fail. Yes, you. You're the one God called, my child. The one heaven watches like a priceless painting. You're the one Michael has been pacing for hours. And now he's near your window, begging you. Don't look away from this message. Don't skip. Don't delay. Even 5 minutes can cost an entire season of your blessings. And let me tell you something they didn't want you to find out. That psychic? She had to say a prayer after seeing your energy. Because she saw what God is preparing for you. She said, "This is not normal. This is an anointed one. I must protect her from harm. You have miracles stored in heaven's vault. Literal gold, joy, partnerships, a house, healing. But you haven't been allowed to access it because someone was blocking it with your own name. A person with access. A person who knows how to speak like a friend and whisper like a snake. Yes. Them. You know exactly who came to your mind just now. And yes, they're doing this out of jealousy. But not the jealousy of beauty or looks. They're jealous of your favor. Because everything you touch turns to gold. Even your pain is poetic. Even your cries reach God faster than most people's praise. So what now? You need to declare your energy back. Speak your name aloud. Say, I reclaim my essence, my favor, and my inheritance. I disconnect from every person who accessed me without divine permission. Because, darling, you were never meant to beg for what was already yours. God already signed the paperwork. But you kept giving your key to people who had no business even being in your hallway. Michael is furious. Yes, angels can get furious too. Because you're not just anybody. You are a soul handpicked by heaven. And if you've made it this far into this message, then you're already 10 steps ahead of the ones trying to silence you. Before we continue, take 3 seconds. And make sure you don't miss the next divine signal. Subscribe right now, because the next revelation will be even deeper, even more shocking, and even more freeing. This is for you. Your protection. Your spiritual update from heaven's throne. The moment you finish reading this message, a shift will happen. One name will pop up. One dream will come back. One little coincidence will make your jaw drop. That's the confirmation. That's heaven saying, now you're in alignment. You've been stalked in the spirit. Monitored by someone who wants to be you, not just copy you. Someone who said, why do they get so much favor? And instead of healing, they plotted. But they messed up. Because they forgot something vital. You are anointed. And no psychic, no spell, no hidden mouth can undo what God has declared over your life. So now Archangel Michael is preparing to cut ties for you. Expect emotional distance. Expect people falling off for no reason. Expect sudden silence from ones who used to text you daily. That's protection, baby. Don't chase it. You'll feel lonely for a bit. But then, the real ones come. The connections God handpicked. Not the ones forced. Not the ones faked. But the ones who recognize you as royalty. There's more, so much more that needs to be said. They thought they could delay your blessings by studying your energy. They thought by going to a psychic, they could reroute your future. But what they didn't realize is that you're covered by the bloodline of the divine. You are shielded by something stronger than their spells, stronger than their schemes. Your soul glows too brightly for the darkness to dim. Archangel Michael wasn't just pacing yesterday, he was guarding. Guarding your name in heaven's court. Because when your name was called by that psychic, the air shifted. And God leaned forward. That name, that's my child. What the psychic saw next was no ordinary fate. She saw a spiritual courtroom, where someone was being judged for stealing your glory. That person is about to experience a downfall like no other. But God is giving you a chance, right now, to step away from the blast. You were not meant to go down with them. And that's why you've been restless lately. Not sleeping well. Hearing sounds at night. Random anxiety for no reason. That's spiritual pressure. Your spirit has been screaming, but you didn't know why. But now you do. Someone's been pulling on your destiny. Trying to rewrite your story. But their pen has run out of ink. Because heaven just snatched back the script. And now, you are being restored. Piece by piece. Memory by memory. Favor by favor. The money that went missing? It's returning in unexpected ways. The energy that felt drained? It's coming back more powerful. The joy that felt stolen? It's going to overflow. But listen carefully. You must not reconnect with the person who triggered this. Even if they apologize. Even if they say they've changed. Even if they cry. Because what you didn't know is, they had been warned once already. This was not their first offense. This was their last chance before heaven intervened. And now the angels are moving things behind the scenes. People are waking up with you in their dreams. Strangers are feeling led to bless you. An investor is about to speak your name in a room you've never entered. All because you opened this. This message is the door. And now that you're walking through it, you'll start to see what was hidden. Your intuition will grow sharp. You'll start picking up on lies before they even form. You'll feel things you can't explain, and every time, you'll be right. Because Michael has assigned an intuitive download into your soul. You're not just being protected now. You're being elevated. And guess what? They will see it. That person who tried to read your energy behind your back. They'll watch you walk into every blessing they thought they could delay. God will let them watch from afar. Not as punishment, but as proof. This is what happens when you touch my anointed. Let me tell you what else that psychic saw. She saw a ring. A proposal. But the hand that offered it wasn't the one currently in your life. It was someone new. Someone God has been preparing in silence. Someone who loves without control. Someone who sees your soul, not your status. The psychic tried to hide that part. But Michael saw. And now you know. You are not stuck. You are not forgotten. You are in transition. This next chapter is not a test. It's the reward. But you must clean your circle. You must spiritually declutter. Because what's coming for you is too heavy for fake hands to carry. God says, tell them this, if they let go now, I'll replace everything lost with interest. This is not just about money. This is about spiritual compensation. The heartbreak you endured silently, He saw it. The nights you kept others from worrying, even when you were collapsing inside, He saw it. The dreams you buried to be realistic, He's unearthing them now. Miracles are speeding up. Even your calendar will shift. Delays will disappear. Opportunities will double. Doors that once said, closed, will now open as if they were always meant for you. And the reason you're receiving this now is because time is running out. You don't have months. You don't even have days. You have moments. 5 minutes. That's what heaven gave. That's what Michael whispered. Because after that, the shift begins. And you're either aligned, or watching others walk into what was meant for you. But now that you're reading this, you've already stepped into alignment. Don't look back. Don't second guess. Don't explain your peace to those who create your chaos. Just smile. Just breathe. And know that heaven is holding your hand. Good, you stayed. Do you know how many people skip this part? How many chosen ones miss their window because they think, I'll come back to it later, not realizing that later was never promised. But you opened this in time. Even if it was with shaky hands or a curious heart, you did it. And because of that, Michael just marked your name in light. That 5-minute window? You're inside it. And now heaven is preparing to release what was held up for years. Let's go deeper. That person who contacted the psychic? Michael is now revealing something even darker. They didn't go alone. There were 2 of them. One who asked the questions. And another who sat silently, feeding the psychic energy from your photos. Yes, your pictures. On their phone. Saved from years ago. A casual photo you once sent. A picture from a family event. Even a screenshot from social media. They used those to tap in. But it backfired. Because here's the thing. Your image carries heaven's fingerprint. It's not just a photo, it's a reflection of your divine assignment. And when they tried to misuse it, the spirit realm responded immediately. The psychic saw fire. Not metaphorical, real flames. Dancing around your picture like protection. She trembled. Told them, I can't see past this glow. Something's not letting me in. And that's when Michael stepped in. Sword drawn. Wings blazing. He blocked the reading. The psychic tried again. But her cards kept flipping blank. She couldn't read you. Because you're not meant to be decoded by human hands. You are heaven's secret. Wrapped in light. Concealed for a purpose. And now, that purpose is beginning to bloom. That's why you've been seeing 1111. Feeling sudden déjà vu. Hearing your name in dreams. Sensing movement in empty rooms. It's not paranoia. It's not stress. It's awakening. Your soul is responding to a divine download. You are remembering who you were before they tried to confuse you. Before betrayal dimmed your joy. Before doubt stole your voice. Before fear made you shrink. You were never small. You were never average. You were always this powerful. They just didn't want you to see it. But now you do. And now, they're afraid. Afraid that you'll rise. Afraid that you'll reclaim everything they tried to erase. Afraid that heaven will favor you publicly. Afraid that people will begin to notice your glow. Afraid you'll leave them behind, because you will. Not out of cruelty, but out of obedience. God is calling you higher. And not everyone can breathe at the altitude you're going to. Some people were only meant for the valley. But you're headed to the mountain. Michael says, elevation requires separation. So yes, people will leave. Let them. Don't chase. Don't explain. Just trust. Because as they walk away, something else arrives. And you've been waiting for this without even realizing it. There's a divine connection coming. A conversation that will spark fireworks in your chest. Someone with keys in their hand, keys that open your next chapter. It won't feel forced. It won't feel familiar. It'll feel like home. And it will start within days. Not months. Not years. Days. But remember, time in heaven moves by alignment, not clocks. So stay in this energy. Don't return to the things that drained you. Don't rewatch pain. Don't rehearse trauma. Let it all go. This is not the season for suffering silently. This is the season where God puts a microphone to your soul and says, "Let them hear your healing." You're about to glow in ways they can't dim. You're about to rise in ways they can't follow. And you're about to receive proof that heaven never forgot you. But there's more. Archangel Michael just revealed a vision. A white envelope, sealed with gold. Inside it, a check, with an amount that will bring tears to your eyes. And a handwritten note that says, "This was always yours." It's real. It's already been signed in the Spirit. All that's left is for you to step into the moment. With belief. With authority. With expectation. Let yourself feel this. The hope rising. The fear trembling. The truth settling in. You've always been more than they could handle. And now you'll be more than they can stop. There's more. There's still more that Michael wants to show you. Good. You're still here. That alone is a miracle. Because distractions are designed to show up right before the revelation lands. And now, the next part is opening. And it's even deeper. Because this is where your inheritance starts to return. Michael says, "Tell them this, everything stolen is now being traced back to its divine origin. And it's all coming home." Let that settle. You've lost things you couldn't explain. Opportunities that vanished. Friendships that collapsed without a cause. Even money that should have come through but didn't. But here's what they didn't know. Heaven was recording it all. Every loss. Every tear. Every manipulated moment. Every word spoken against you in private. The angels wrote it down. And now those records are being used to restore you with interest. You're not just being paid back in physical blessings. You're being paid back in favor. In energy. In time. In years you thought were wasted. Listen to this. One person who doubted you will soon try to return. They'll act like nothing happened. Like they always believed in you. But Michael is warning. They were in the room when the psychic reading happened. They didn't speak up. They sat and listened. They even smiled. Don't let the apology fool you. They never planned to come clean. They only returned because the spiritual backlash started hitting their life. They're hoping to reconnect and use your favor to stop their storm. But you, chosen one, you've grown past that. You're wiser now. Sharper. Spiritually awake. You've learned to discern energy that wears fake love like perfume. You don't need their closeness. You don't need their words. You need peace. And baby, peace is priceless. Here's what else you don't know. Someone in heaven, someone you loved deeply, is part of this revelation. They saw what was happening. They watched from the spiritual realm as you cried yourself to sleep, confused about why your winds kept getting delayed. They saw the hands that moved against you. And they went to the throne and asked for intervention. Yes. You have someone in heaven who stepped in. They lit the fire that got Michael's attention. They begged God to uncover what you couldn't see. And that's why this message found you. Because it wasn't random. It wasn't just another scroll. It's an answer. To their prayer. And to yours. You asked for clarity. Now it's here. You asked for proof. Now it's unfolding. You asked for restoration. And now it's rising. But here's the thing. Now that the light has touched this situation, everything that was hidden is going to start showing itself fast. Expect people to slip up. Expect secrets to leak. Expect the truth to land in your lap through the most unexpected source. Screenshots. Conversations. Dreams. Even strangers. All of it is coming together. Because heaven is not just protecting you. Heaven is vindicating you. The smear campaign that was whispered behind your back. It's unraveling. The person who called you too much. They're about to be exposed for how much they wanted to be you. God is flipping the narrative. Turning the page. Starting a new chapter where you are seen, heard, and honored. Michael says, they tried to silence you, but now the angels will speak on your behalf. Are you ready for what that looks like? It looks like a job offer you didn't apply for. A DM from someone in a position of influence. A payment you forgot about finally processing. A message that brings closure. An apology that makes you shake. And a moment, just one moment, where you'll realize, wow. God really never left me. This is your proof moment. The one where doubt melts. Where fear backs down. Where faith starts glowing like wildfire. And when it comes, don't shrink. Don't question it. Don't wonder if you're worthy. You are. You always have been. This was never about earning it. This was about surviving long enough to see it arrive. You're about to see it. You're about to feel it. And when it lands, all of heaven will rejoice. Because their chosen one, you, did not miss the moment. There is one final piece Michael wants me to deliver. It's heavier. Deeper. And it's tied to the biggest miracle of all. Alright, beloved. Now comes the part that will change the rhythm of your entire life. Michael said not everyone would be ready for this. But you are. He's been watching you since the day your soul took its first breath. Even when you were still trying to find yourself. Even when you cried alone with no one to call. even when you had nothing but a heartbeat and hope. Michael knew you were destined for something that would shake generations. And now, that prophecy is unlocking. Because this final revelation isn't just about a psychic or stolen blessings. It's about the real reason the enemy came after you. Let this sink in. The real attack wasn't about your money. Not your beauty. Not your relationships. It was about your mouth. Your voice. Your calling. The enemy knew you would speak one day. Speak in a way that wakes the sleeping. That breaks generational patterns. That heals others through your presence. That brings light into places where people gave up. And that's why they tried to silence you. That's why people betrayed you so easily. That's why you've been doubted, mocked, overlooked, misunderstood. Because they sensed something rising in you before you did. But here's what they didn't know. Silencing you only made heaven turn you up louder. Michael says, this chosen one carries frequencies in their voice that shatter chains in the spirit realm. That's why the attacks were so loud. But now it's time for them to speak. And you will. You'll speak and lives will shift. You'll speak and the atmosphere will clear. You'll speak and money will move. Opportunities will open. Healing will start. Because your voice was never meant to stay hidden. It was heaven's instrument all along. So now, God is returning it to you. Not just louder, but anointed. Your words will carry more weight. Your messages will travel faster. Your name will be spoken in rooms you haven't even entered yet. Because that's what happens when heaven endorses your existence. You've already survived what was meant to break you. You've already walked through the flames. And now it's time to shine with fire, not be burned by it. This is the season where God will say, watch how I bless them in full view of those who doubted them. The tables aren't just turning. They're flipping. And those who once whispered against you will now whisper your name with awe. But before we end this, there's one last divine instruction. Simple, but powerful. Michael says, write their name down. The one you feel may have gone to that psychic. You already know who it is. The face that keeps popping up. The one who always seemed a little off, but acted like they cared. Write the name down. Then say, I forgive you. But I remove your access to my destiny, forever. That's all. You don't need to curse them. You don't need revenge. Forgiveness is the scissors. Release is the sword. And that's how you take back your power. Because what God has for you cannot be touched by hands that no longer belong in your story. What's next? Doors. Literal and spiritual doors. You'll feel pulled toward things. You'll be guided in ways you never imagined. You'll look up and see signs, license plates, angel numbers, messages in dreams. Pay attention. Because it's starting now. God says, you have obeyed. You have opened. You have reclaimed. And now, you shall receive. Darling, watch how heaven floods your life with everything you were once denied. Not because you begged, but because you believed. And because you stayed through every part of this message. Michael wants you to know. This is only the beginning. The next 3 days will prove everything written here. Prepare. Pray. Protect your peace. And most of all, expect the impossible. It's coming. In fact, it's already here. You're still here. That means your spirit is wide open. That means something inside you already knows, this isn't just another message. This is the message. The one heaven delayed storms for. The one angels hovered over, waiting for your soul to be ready. And now, it's time to seal this. Because what begins now, cannot be undone. Archangel Michael just whispered something. And it sent a rush of warmth through the room. He said, tell them, the chains that held their family for decades just snapped, because of their obedience. Let that settle. Yes, you. You broke something you couldn't even see. A cycle. A curse. A pattern that was dressed up as normal. But it was never normal for someone like you. You were born different. Marked. And because of that, life tried to dim your light before you could even understand why it was shining. But guess what? You made it here. Not by luck. By calling. Every spiritual attack that came for your confidence was really aimed at your crown. Because if the enemy could distract you from your identity, they could delay your legacy. But not anymore. You've been reintroduced to your own power. You've reclaimed your divine voice. You've walked into the very moment that prophets in heaven whispered about. They said, there will come a moment where she, or he, opens the truth. And from that moment on, they will never walk the earth the same again. You've stepped into that prophecy. And now, prepare for confirmation. In 48 hours, something unusual will happen. It won't make sense to your mind at first. But your spirit will know. It will be something small. A delayed message finally arrives. A stranger calls you, chosen, out of nowhere. Someone you haven't heard from in years suddenly apologizes. A sign in public echoes something you read in this message. A song. A name. A symbol. That's heaven's signal. That's God saying, it's begun. And when that moment happens, pause. Smile. Thank the divine. Because that moment is the handshake between heaven and earth. And here's something you need to know. You are now spiritually untouchable. Not arrogant. Not prideful. But sealed. You are being wrapped in angelic protection. So strong that even those who attempt to speak against you will feel sudden confusion. They won't know why their words fall flat. Why their energy no longer sticks. It's because you've become covered. Michael says, tell them, they've activated their angelic surveillance. That means every room you enter now shifts. Not because you force it, but because your spirit precedes you. People will sense your presence. Not in intimidation, but in reverence. Because God walks with you now in a way that cannot be hidden. You're a light in human skin. And those who once dismissed you will now start to wonder, who is she really, or who is he really? They'll never fully figure it out. Because you were never meant to be understood by the world. Only recognized by the chosen. And now a final instruction. Michael says, write yourself a message. Yes, you. A message from your future self. Write it as if everything you were promised has already arrived. Write as if the blessings are already in your hands. As if the doors have already opened. As if the betrayal healed. As if the peace is overflowing. Why? Because you create with your words. You summon what's already waiting in heaven. You call it down by belief. And right now, this is the most spiritually magnetic you've ever been. Use this window. Don't doubt. Don't delay. Speak it. Write it. Feel it. Then, let it go. Let the angels carry it. Because what's coming is bigger than what you asked for. It's going to humble you. Bless you. Stretch you. And ultimately, launch you. Darling, you've crossed over. Not physically, but spiritually. And from this point on, life will never be the same again. Miracles are coming. Justice is near. And your name is being written in the hearts of those assigned to bless you. You are the living proof that no weapon formed against you ever had a chance. And if this message stirred your spirit, if your hands are still shaking and your heart feels full, that's not just emotion. That's alignment. So breathe. Stand tall. Smile. And say these final words out loud. I am chosen. I am covered. I am ready. And so it is. Your miracle has begun.